easier to kind of have everything organized and keep myself organized. I did want to first introduce a new staff member who's going to be taking over all of the conference planning. So I want to go ahead and introduce Deepika Mehta. She has joined CHAPCA as our brand new staff member. I will be leaving CHAPCA as of next week. And so Deepika is going to be taking over. And so Deepika, I just want to welcome you to the group and let everyone know who you were, so that if you have any questions moving forward with the conference, you are welcome to send a message to the general inbox, which is info@calhospice.org. You can also send a message to Sheila Clark, our president and CEO, as well as Deepika. So we will get everyone that information. Deepika, if you want to add your information in the chat, we'll make sure that people have your contact information. But for now, we're going to go ahead. This is going to be just strictly informational. You're welcome to ask questions. I want to keep it, just very informational for everyone. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask at any time. But I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation here. So what I've done, we're going to we're going to tour the university. So I've put as much, as far as maps, and we have a video presentation that I can show you, a tour of the floor plan. We're going to look at the exhibitor hall. We're going to look at the Argyros Forum, which is the main general session location that all of our general sessions will be located in, and the Chapman Auditorium. So both the pre-conference as well as the opening day of the conference and the closing day are all going to be in one room. It's an auditorium. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll discuss the sponsorship options that are currently available, and we'll kind of talk about some of the options that can be available if it's something that you are interested in doing. So we do have access to a dorm room on campus, and so we are inviting anyone to come and stay on campus. Those options also include meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So there's information there. I put down a little bit of information about how to complete that exhibitor registration form, because it is it can only be done per individual. So each individual who's attending has to sign up for, individually register, and I'll show you details on that. And then we're just going to talk a little bit, you all are the folks that participate in conferences. I'm so interested in hearing your thoughts and ideas. After I show you the campus, we kind of say the sky is the limit, because we have full control of that campus. We will be the only ones there. Students will be on break. So we will have the full campus to ourselves. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward and show you a little bit the campus university. So it's going to be held at the Chapman University. That's in Orange, California. The Argyros Hall here is where we're going to have the general sessions. Now we're going to be on the second floor of that building, but I want to show you later the first floor, because there is a ton of area where if you want to come in and set up a table, if you want to set up some kind of meet and greet there and invite people to come, there's all of these different sections. There's like a whole dining space if you want to do some kind of refreshment, or something in that area. It's all space that you can utilize. So I wanted to share that with you. I put in the Sandu Residence Center. That's where the dorm rooms are. Again, our conference theme is back to the basics. So there's going to be a basic bedroom, basic chair, table, desk, private bathroom. All of the rooms, because of COVID, are going to be single rooms. But that is an opportunity for networking. We are expecting folks to stay on campus, so it's just another opportunity for you. There is a Randall Dining Commons is where if you're staying on campus, you'll go there for all of your meals. It's sort of an all-you-can-eat. They have different meals served throughout the day. There's a salad bar, but there's other options on campus as well. I believe there's a Starbucks, and I'll show you the list. So I'll continue moving on. This is just a preview of the actual campus. So, and where everything's going to be located is all walking distance. But as you can see at the top here, the San2 Residence and Conference Center, that's where the dorm rooms are going to be located. We also have the Argyros Forum building, which is again our general session, and then the Memorial Hall, which is also where they have the Chapman Auditorium. So there will be parking all throughout the campus. And so all of that is going to be free parking. But you'll see that there's designated parking, and then of course parking lots that are specifically designated to the resident center. So there's plenty of space for everyone here. Benefits, you know, as I mentioned, free parking throughout the campus, free Wi-Fi throughout the campus, free meals if you're staying on campus. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's a great option if you're staying there. As exhibitors, we can provide shipping instructions to all of you who are planning to exhibit. And that includes deliveries. They'll do storage within 2 weeks of the actual event. You can ship everything over and they'll store it for you at no charge. So that's an option as well. And then again, we have the full campus to ourselves for this conference. So you're welcome to utilize that time that we'll all be there on campus for ideas that you may have, and we can talk about that a little further. So just a little bit, so we are going to be starting the conference with a pre-conference, and we did an end-of-life nursing education consortium track last year. We had a ton of our providers participate in that. We kept it member only. This year, we're opening it up to all of our providers here in California to attend. It is a 2-day event. We have 8 different domains that we will cover in that session. We have 3 very dynamic speakers. We have Bonnie Morgan, we have Missy Moore, and then Carol Javins, who will be presenting during the different segments of that LNIC training. This is an opportunity to receive CEs. So we do expect that this will be a very successful event. One of the reasons we did do a promotion for providers who renewed their dues by January 31st to send all of your staff to this event for free. That includes free CEs. That includes all 8 domains of education. The category that we're speaking on is communication. Again, going back to the basics of hospice care, we felt that 2 days of communication education would be perfect to fit that theme. So about 80% of our providers did qualify for that promotion, and I'll show you the actual building. There is capacity for 930 individuals, and you'll see there's 2 different levels. It's a beautiful building, but so because of the location and because we have so much capacity to fill, we're allowing those members to send their staff for free. So that's a big draw to our providers who will be there. Now, because of that, with that being said, if you're planning to exhibit or sponsor, then that's just another opportunity for you as associates to come in and network. Maybe, be there on campus, maybe attend that training. You're welcome to do that. I attended it. I don't have a hospice background. I took those classes and I was completely amazed at the information, everything that I learned there. So I think it's a great learning opportunity, but especially a networking opportunity for you all. And I think I mentioned there's, going to be breaks throughout the day. There's a 2-hour lunch in between. So, as you're kind of getting this information, I'm sure you're thinking how you can utilize that time being there on campus. So we'll go into that a little bit more. Associate members who purchased the dorm room accommodations are welcome to check in on Sunday the 5th, and checkout would be Friday, June 10th. So if you're staying in the dorm, we will have check-in available that Sunday. The pre-conference will start Monday and Tuesday, and then the annual conference will start Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As we mentioned, if you're exhibiting, you're welcome to stay there for the pre-conference and check in early. We have each exhibitor will have 2 conference registrations with your tabletop. So let us know who your 2 your exhibitors will be, and we'll make sure that they have a badge and can check in and come on campus. I jotted down a couple ideas, but you guys, again, are welcome to let us know how you want to utilize that time. You can set up tables. The nice thing about the campus is that if we need tables, if we need chairs, if we need equipment, the university staff will be there to help us out. They'll be providing all the AV equipment and all of that information. So it's a great opportunity to be here on this campus, because we are going to be able to have options that we may not have been able to have at a hotel. So we're excited about what can be, and we're excited to see what you all come up with as well. So we'll move on to the annual conference, which is held on that Wednesday, Thursday, and half a day on Friday. That's the 8th through the 10th. Again, just going back to the basics at the bedside, we will be covering documentation, WAPI, leadership, compliance, regulatory, and clinical sessions. The day 1, as I mentioned, will be all held in the Chapman Auditorium, so everyone's going to be in the same room. Day 2 is when we're going to break up into the general sessions. That's going to be held in one building, the Argyros building, and we'll be on the 2nd floor. I'll show you a map of what that looks like a little bit later in this presentation, but everyone's going to be in the same area. It's going to actually be on the same floor as our exhibitor hall, which I'll show you as well. So that, there's a couple ideas that I have for you on that day as well. We have a couple opportunities. There's some rooms that we're offering to our associates if you want to do a general session. We're allowing 2-hour time slots. So I'll show you a little bit of the schedule and where you can fit that in. And then on day 3, it'll be a half day. It'll be ending around noon, but we're going to close the conference back in the Chapman Auditorium where we started the first day. So everyone will be in the same room again, and we'll have the ability to, we'll have a legislative update with Peter Kellison. We'll have a closing keynote with Jennifer Kennedy, who will be doing our regulatory update. And then I believe we have a leadership keynote that'll be closing that day. So it'll be just a half day. This is the floor plan to the Argyros Forum building. So as I mentioned, we're going to be on the 2nd floor. I'm going to show you a demo later, which will give you the visual of what this actually looks like in person. But for now, I want to show you this because, as the folks come in through the entrance here, there is a ton of seating here. So, again, this is an opportunity to utilize that space. If you want to do a meet and greet of some kind, if you want to invite people to come to a specific section, where you see on the upper right-hand corner, it says food. There's tables in here. I think it's more of like a student lounge, but there's opportunities there. There is an on-site caterer that, if you want to inquire with them to maybe look at the options that they have, if there's something that you want to do as far as a refreshment, that's an opportunity as well. And so I just wanted to kind of give you a visual of the space. This circular image here is a beautiful staircase that leads to the second floor. So it's kind of like that main entrance, and it's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. It goes right up to the second floor. So it's a beautiful building. And, lots of options if it's networking that you're looking at. The second floor is where all of our attendees will be attending their general session. So again, this is June 9th, and the second day of our annual conference. Here in the orange highlight is the exhibitor hall, which is where all of our tabletops will be located. The session rooms are all throughout this second floor in yellow. We have 2 smaller lecture halls that are available. So if you see room number 207 and 211, they're both the same size. Classroom setting, they can fit about 48. So, that's an opportunity if you want to do your own session. This is an opportunity to provide content to our providers that will be there. We're hoping that it'll still align with the back to the basics content. So if you have an idea for a session hall, we had 4 opportunities. We have 3 now. We have one company that's going to be coming in and doing a story lounge, which is awesome. Access is going to be doing a story lounge. That'll be an opportunity to come and share your why. They'll be inviting guests to come in and talk about their why. And if we have anyone on from Access on this call, feel free to chime in and talk a little bit more about that. But it's a great idea to draw people in and just, share their story. I think it's a wonderful idea. So,
Sarah, this is Amanda. Sorry.
Hi, Amanda.
Interrupt. Hi, good to see you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but we are still planning on doing the story lounge. Hopefully you and I can talk more about that tomorrow. But yeah, again, just a really great opportunity for the members of the folks attending to the event to come and talk about their why, about why they are working in hospice care, maybe tell a patient's story. So we're really excited about that. It's just a great way to engage with attendees.
Exactly. And I love that idea. I think it's a great idea. It breaks up, a full day as well. If you think about it, they're in full session mode. And so it's kind of a nice break to just kind of stop and really appreciate the people that are around you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. So it's, again, think of these, it can either be content that you're providing. It's 2 hours. And so you can do one session and then one, whatever you want to do. But the sky is the limit here. So there's 3 opportunities, like I said. And so take a look at that. The exhibitor options now, I'll show you the floor plan of the exhibitor hall. It's a little bit smaller than, maybe a hotel option. So we had to limit the number to 28 tabletops. I don't have the number of where we at. I want to say we're down to maybe 14 available right now. So if you're thinking about exhibiting, maybe sign up at your earliest convenience, because I know that they're going pretty fast because of that opportunity, because of the room size. It is limited. The tabletop is, and again, guys, it's not going to be the average, curtained, draped, booth. It's going to be exactly what it is, a tabletop. So the pricing is pretty minimum, but it does come with 2 conference registrations. Again, stay on campus, utilize, attend the education if that's something that you want to do. We'll do badges for those 2. So when you sign up, you're going to see we're going to ask you who's attending. That's for the purpose of making you a badge and giving you that access. And we're going to include you on all of our conference promotions. So you'll start to see a lot more heavier marketing promotions on our social media. We'd love if you're exhibiting or attending, by all means, please promote. We can give you logos or whatever it is that you need to help with that. One thing I forgot to mention to you all too, we are going to be doing a conference app. So this also provides, instead of doing a conference brochure, we're going to do a conference app. The app does have marketing and sponsorship opportunities. So that will come, I believe they're going to start putting that together shortly and getting to work on that. The nice thing about the app, though, is it's not only a CHAPCA conference app, we're going to utilize that throughout the year. So we'll be able to, we can talk about that at another time. But just to keep in mind that, we're going to use that app for all of our programs. Of course, if you're exhibiting, your information will be on that app as well, directing folks to come. I believe you can see all of the people that are attending on that app as well. So you'll have full access to that to utilize, if you want to add some messaging on there and invite people to come visit you at your booth or what have you, that'll be an option for you as well. As we get a little bit closer and CHAPCA completes that build, we will, reach out to all of our exhibitors and make sure that you have access to sign up for that. There's 3 different designated times that attendees will be invited to visit that exhibitor hall. So on the June 8th, we're going to be doing a grand opening at that exhibitor hall from 12 to 2:30. That's 2 hours and 30 minutes of dedicated time. We also have a welcome reception. So drinks, appetizers, and that'll be from 5 to 7 p.m. on that first opening day on June 8th. That's Wednesday. And then June 9th, the day of the general sessions, we'll have everyone come for 2 hours and 45 minutes. We've aligned for from 11:30 to 1:45 networking time in that exhibitor hall. So a couple things that we are kind of discussing here at the CHAPCA office is what we'd like to do. And I looked into maybe even contacting Disney since we're going to be in Orange County, we were thinking about, maybe giving away a grand prize of a Disney vacation for a family of 4. So we were looking into things like that. Maybe as exhibitors, I don't know if you all have any ideas or success of what has been a great draw to, attend the exhibitor hall. I'd love to hear your ideas, but, I think we're trying to come up with ideas. Maybe, in the past, there's been like a passport where, each of you have, a stamp or something, and, they can enter a drawing and do a giveaway in that way. So, but we're open to suggestions or ideas and would love to hear from you on that end too. So again, Sheila and Deepka will be here to assist with that. So this is just a preview of what that exhibitor hall looks like. It's 3 different rooms. And so you'll see that, it only had the room for the 28, but this is just kind of to give you a visual of what that will look like. And if you all have any questions, please stop me at any time. I think we have a small enough group where we can definitely make this a conversation. And if there's anything that you want me to go back and take a look at, let me know. We have put together some sponsorship opportunities here. And so we did set some sponsor opportunities, but again, like I said, with this event, there's so much opportunity. So if there's something that you're interested in doing, what I would say is contact Sheila Clark or Deepka Mehta, send a message, give us a call. We can certainly put something together and talk about that opportunity and just kind of plan, if you need a caterer, if you need tables, chairs, whatever it is that you might, be thinking, we can certainly do some planning on that.
Bob has a question.
Bob, did you have a question?
Only that I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not seeing any of the images, only the slide with pre-conference June 6 and 7.
Oh, is that the case? Is anyone else having trouble?
No, of course, I've seen these before when we went through them, but in case others have not.
Is anyone else having that kind of, is anyone able to see my presentation?
So that happened to me, and I just had to refresh and come back into the meeting.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. Well,
Oh, it's okay.
Keep in mind that this is being recorded. I'll make sure that I send it out to everyone after the presentation, because there are a lot of visuals on this presentation, so I want to make sure that you all get a chance to take a look at it. But thank you, Kylie. So feel free to refresh, and hopefully it's working for you. Okay, so I'll make sure that I'm, kind of reading along what's on here as well. So the meeting and events sponsorships. So we kind of categorized all of the sponsorships. We do have a closing keynote speaker sponsorship. That's Peter Callison is going to be here with Claire Advocacy. As you all probably know, he's our lobbyist. Sheila works with him on all of our legislation. And in fact, he's going to be doing a presentation on March 1st talking about how to engage with your lawmakers. So he is very involved with CHAPCA, and he's going to be doing a legislative update. As you all know, California has had a lot of legislation in the year 2022 already. So this will be a really good way to kind of end the presentation. Again, these the keynotes are all going to be held in that general auditorium. So just keep that in mind. The annual, we always have an annual meeting, and we always do an awards show, and that is our annual awards. They're always done at our conferences. Last year we did it virtually, and I know Bob helped me MC that award sponsorship, did an amazing job. But it's another opportunity. So again, what we'll do in person, we are planning on June 9th at 8 a.m. We're going to start the day off with our meeting, our annual meeting. They're usually pretty short. It's just, and all of our attendees are invited to attend that annual meeting. It's CHAPCA business. Then we will do the awards. So right now we opened up our awards for nominations. We'll start gathering all of those nominations. Our board members do an anonymous vote. And then at the event, we do an annual awards presentation, and we provide the winners of that. We announce the winners. So it's a fun program. I know our providers really look forward to, submitting their staff and their volunteers for this event. So that's an option as well. And then again, as I mentioned, those, that second day in the general session, what we're going to do, we have a session room sponsor. So what this is that in those three, I'm going to go back to, so if you're looking at my screen, if you're looking back on the screen, so you'll see the lecture halls here. In these rooms, room number 202, 208, and then we have a combined room 206. We're allowing our associates to sponsor these rooms. There will be concurrent sessions happening throughout the day, so different sessions in those rooms. We are thinking, bring all of your signage, bring all of your, we have these, we're going to be making for each of the sponsors. I'm going to pull it over. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So we have these, oh, you probably can't see it because I think I have my screen, but they're about the same size as me. They're about almost 5 feet tall. They have a metal case, and then they have like a slip-on kind of canvas style printed slip. And so we are going to put the sponsor for that room on this signage. We're going to make one for each of the sponsors. We'll have the schedule of each of the classes that are going to be given in that room. We'll have this in the front of that meeting room. So we're gonna design this based on the sponsor of that room. You can keep it if you'd like afterward. There's two sides. So if you want to keep it and use one side and just have your, company information, you're welcome to do that as well. If we're thinking outside the box, it's an opportunity to, have your brochures, your information, your business cards, whatever you would typically have at a tabletop, have in that room. Have pencils, pens, notepads, whatever you want to do. You can be in there, you can introduce the presenters, you can, whatever you'd like to do. It's an opportunity to have presence and to have some branding on this, this signage. Again, I bring it back to you. You're the conference expert. So, whatever ideas you have, we're completely open. So just let us know what you'd like to do, and that's an opportunity. I'm going to go to the Chapman Auditorium host sponsorship in the Memorial Hall. So again, if we're thinking about signage, branding, having, that presence in the room, we have presenters that are going to be, throughout the day. Everyone who's attending the conference will all be in one room. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a moment. But, again, we'll make tailored signage for you. We'll have those made for you. You'll be on all of our programming for, that day as a sponsor for both of those rooms. So we have one opportunity for the pre-conference host, because, we'll have providers there in that room. The one thing, keep in mind, we have people coming in who may just be able to attend the pre-conference, and so, and not the annual conference. And then we have, vice versa, people that are going to be coming and going. The hope is that they stay for the entire event, but we know that, as hospice staff, they're sometimes they can't be away for 4.5 days. So we very much understand that. The draw for having it in Southern California is the majority of hospices are there in Southern California. So I imagine with the promotion that we had, that there will be a lot of providers, especially clinical staff, nurses, who will be attending the pre-conference. And then for the annual conference, that's where we're going to be able to provide the general sessions for all levels. We have, leadership classes, we have clinical, we have different, types of sessions for everyone on during that conference, that general session day. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to give you a visual, so hopefully you all can see my screen of what that auditorium looks like. It is gorgeous and tons of seating, so very safe for social distancing. There's a second level, as you can see. I think this is where the university holds all of their theater performances, and so we're going to have our all of our speakers at a podium on that stage. The center focus will be on that speaker. So again, we can do signage, we can do looks like they have a screen, so maybe there's an opportunity for like a short presentation. I don't, again, these are all opportunities that if it's something that you're interested in, what I would recommend is contact Sheila, discuss your ideas. If you're seeing opportunities that, might be a possibility for you, feel free to give her a call and just discuss those, and she'll help you organize those. And we can work with the university for the needs that you have in order to make those happen. I'm going to come back to this link, but I definitely want to show you, and I want you, and maybe it's something that you take a look at after the presentation, but this link, this campus tour link, is a live visual that first floor. So you can see the entire campus, but in particular, I want you to pay attention to the Argyros Forum building. That building will, it shows you all of that first floor. You can get a visual for the opportunities that has for each of you. We have the attendee experience sponsorship opportunities. So this is anything, as far as the welcome reception, we have a sponsorship for that. Again, there's going to be appetizers, beverages, wine, beer, what have you. Now, we have been given the green light to bring in whatever we want. You don't have to order from a caterer. You can go to Costco and buy appetite, whatever you want to do. We have the green light to bring in alcohol. I believe we just have to use the university staff to serve, but I will double check that now that I'm thinking about it. But the hope is that everyone will be staying on campus, so it'll just be a nice, relaxing time. We have refreshments that we want to offer on June 8th and June 9th. So those are some opportunities. Again, we can utilize the campus caterer. They have, dessert refreshments. They have coffee. There's all kinds of opportunity there as well. So those are some opportunities. And then finally, we are doing some branding opportunities. Now, the difference with this one is in previous conferences, we've offered sponsorships for collateral, notepads, book bags, things like that. And, typically we order everything. We use our vendors for that. This is a little bit different. So there is a fee that you will pay, but it allows, what we'll do is we will, of course, promote you as a sponsor for all of our, throughout the conference, as well as all the pre-conference stuff, leading to the conference. So we have a few more months left. We also, at the day of registration, we're going to set up a table for each of our branding sponsors. So this will be, an extra opportunity for you to engage with the attendees, invite them to your table or an event that you're going to hold, or, what have you. But I'll show you the options. We have a registration badge holder. We have a conference bag. We have a notepad sponsor, a mask sponsor, pen sponsor, hand sanitizer. These are just ideas that we were kind of thinking. But again, if it's something that you want to do differently, let us know. But you'll each have your own table. So we'll have our attendees check in to receive their conference materials and check in to get their badges, and then they'll go to each table and receive their items. Just like going back to the basics, back to the university, back to school. We were kind of thinking of a theme of going back to school and having their bag and grabbing all of their their pencils and their papers and all of their back to school items. So it's going to be very similar. But that's what those branding partners are. I'm going to move into the breakout session opportunities. I told you a little bit about them earlier, but they are still available. There's room 207. We have a 9:15 to 11:15. And then we have a 211 from a 2 to 4. So I think I might have made a typo here, but 207 and 211, there's a 9:15 and a 2 o'clock. So our agenda is online. You can kind of take a look at the different sessions that we have available. I know that there's going to be a more formal agenda that will be made with more detail. Right now, we just have the session titles, but that is, again, a great opportunity to either provide content or, do as Access is doing that story lounge, thinking of something that attendees would want to attend. They'll have the option during that time to attend your session or a general session. So everyone will have an option for attending those breakout sessions. We're going to move on to the dorm room accommodations. So the exhibitors are invited to stay on campus. Again, this is going to be at the San2 Residence Hall. The check-in is available, as I mentioned, on that Sunday, June 5th, and checkout would be June 10th. Everyone will receive one private single room with a private bathroom. The accommodations are for the entire length of the conference. So because we don't have, there's only 3 of us here at CHAPCA. We don't have the staff to be able to do check-in every single day. So we're packaging it all in one stay. You'll just, you'll have full access, that's your room. So if somebody wants to come for the pre-conference and then, attend someone else wants to come for the conference, by all means, you can have somebody kind of switch with you. It's completely up to you. But we are selling it for the full week. Again, that dorm room accommodation does come with meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner in that Randall Hall dining room that I showed you earlier. And they also have a ton of food on campus as well. I did verify that those options are going to be open. I think I might have listed them here later on in the presentation. So check-in is for members, it's $650 for all 5 nights. Again, that's your room and meals. Very, very cheap when you consider, a 5-day stay. With all of your meals, free parking, everything. We've never been able to offer something like that when we were at a hotel. It's very expensive. Again, if you're staying on campus, your meals are going to be included. It's an all-you-can-eat menu with 2 entrees, fruit and salad bar, desserts, beverages. They're going to be served in that Randall dining room. And there's a beautiful patio that aligns, that lines that entire dining room as well. So you can be outdoors. There are other dining options on campus. Bagels, Jamba Juice, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Rotunda Cafe. There's a Starbucks. And then it looks like a Sub-Connection sandwich shop. So those I did confirm on the website that they will be open during our conference. So it's just another option if, attendees choose not to eat or stay on campus. We do have a list on our website that if you don't want to stay in a dorm, totally understand that. There are, because of where the university is located, there are a ton of hotels that work with Chapman University that are within 3 to 5 miles from the campus. And they're, when I looked about a month ago, the rates were super cheap. I want to say maybe about the 150 a night, 130 to 150. So some of them offer Chapman discounts. So if you're looking at hotels for you or your staff, look at that link that I have on the website. It'll take you directly to the list of hotels. And some of them are already linked with the Chapman special page with that pricing. So go through that link if you can, if that's something that you're looking at. The dorm rooms are back to the basics, but they all come with a linen package. It's with your sheets, your pillowcase, blanket, bath towel, hand towel, a small bar of soap, and a drinking cup. Again, includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're all air conditioned. They have a laundry facility on site. There's a ton of common areas that you're able to utilize as well throughout that area. If you go onto the website using that link, you'll see they have a pool that's going to be open. There's volleyball courts, basketball courts. So all of that is going to be for anyone who's going to be staying on campus. And then, of course, the university has complimentary Wi-Fi for anyone there on campus. So lots of perks. Does anyone have any questions before I move on to the registration?
There's a couple of questions that came in
the
chat.
Deepika, if you want, I'll mute myself. If you want to go through those questions.
Yeah. There was a question from Helen Bauer stating what attendance has been for the past conferences.
So attendance For past conferences, that's a great question. We actually have to limit this conference attendance. For the pre-conference, there's no limit, obviously, because we have the room capacity. For the conference itself, so if you're a branding sponsor, we have 300 and I believe we're capped at 350. So if you're going to order, items and supplies through the branding sponsorship, you'll want to order for 350. That's going to be the max for this conference. The reason being is that we are having to stick to the room size for each of those meeting rooms. There's a max, I want to say 100 or 98 to 100 for those meeting rooms. So we can't go over that for each classroom. So we did have to limit the conference size. So just keep that in mind. And as I mentioned, we do foresee that there will be different groups coming for different things, either for the pre-conference and or the regular conference. And so, there is that opportunity for additional people through that pre-conference. So my suggestion would be, if you're going to attend, it would be beneficial to come in earlier to utilize that networking time through the pre-conference, because as I mentioned, we are not going to limit that at all. Was there another question?
Yeah, from Bob.
Mhm.
Are there entertainment reception rooms or suites available to rent or utilize?
Okay, so entertainment rooms or suites to utilize. There's, as I mentioned, let me go back here in the presentation.
And he also asked, could you put the video tour link?
Okay, yes, so we can definitely put that link. Deepka, if you can do that, I'm on that page now. So entertainment, are you thinking, Bob, are you thinking during the evening? Are you thinking during the day?
Probably an evening event reception.
So let me see if I click on this link, let me see if you guys can see. I'm going to pull this over. Can you see my screen here? If anyone can confirm, I'm just pulling up this campus tour. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to go directly to the building, because this is I want you to see what this looks like. It might be really slow just because we're on Teams. If we can't pull it up for some reason because it's taking a minute to load, I want you guys to take a look at that link and check out the campus, because, it looks like it's going to be a little thin. So I would say, oh, here it is. Okay, so do you guys see, this is the first floor of that building that we're going to be in for the general session. So as you see here on my screen, there is a lot of area and space to hold some type of entertainment. We will have access to this. Keep in mind too, there's a beautiful outdoor space area. So, we're going to be there. It's going to be June. Orange County is always beautiful. So maybe doing something outdoors. You can do something. I mentioned there's a pool. Maybe you want to do like something out by the pool. There's the dining hall has that little patio. It has a lot of seating back there. So maybe you want to do some kind of, and it's covered. So maybe if you want to do something, because we're still during COVID times, we want to be outdoors, maybe doing something outdoors is an option. But if you look at my screen, there is a lot of opportunity here. You can kind of see here, this is that big circular staircase that leads to the second floor. There is a section, I don't think it's going to show us on this screen, but there is a whole kind of closed off session, which is more of like a student lounge area in addition to this. So keep in mind, this is all available for all of our attendees. Now, if I'm thinking, and you guys know, you know, if I'm thinking of past conferences, all of these attendees are, you know, during breaks, they're trying to charge their phone. They're trying to check in with their office and, you know, check in with patients in between sessions or during sessions sometimes. So maybe doing something like a charging station. You know, we can look into what that pricing would be, and, you know, kind of if you want to do research on, you know, that's kind of an opportunity. Most of the conferences that I've done in my past, you know, there's always been charging stations, and, you know, you see people gathered around, you know, trying to charge their phone in between sessions. And so that might be an opportunity where you have branding, you know, on specific, you know, areas where there's charging stations. I know that they provide that. So we just have to look into that. Again, you know, when I look at this room and I'm looking at it as a networking opportunity, and, you know, the fact that you can bring in whatever you want, any refreshments, you can bring in any materials, you can do what you want. It's just kind of coming up with that idea. I would say whatever it is that you're planning on doing, make sure that you're coordinating and connecting with Sheila, our president, so that we can kind of all be on the same page and help with that planning. So I'm going to close this.
One last question.
Yes.
From Kylie at Soul Exclamation. Is the price of food and beverages included in the cost of sponsorship packages?
Is the cost of food and beverages including, so no. Yes. So depending, are you looking at a specific one, Kylie?
So I'm looking at the snack sponsor, the, you know, the refreshment, welcome reception, just kind of any of the things that you have set up for sponsorship.
Yes. Yes. So we will work with the caterer. So if, for instance, if you're a snack sponsor, that will, you know, we'll work with the caterer to coordinate all of that. And we will take care of that coordination. But in the meantime, you're going to get the, you know, the recognition, you're going to get the sponsorship branding. So yes, it is included. Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have in regard to the sponsorships, but we'll definitely, you know, open it up when we're kind of done. I think we're moving on to just the registration form. There was a couple things that I wanted to mention about the form, because now as we're starting to receive registrations, there's a couple things I just want to note. So the form does need to be filled out individually. So if if you're exhibiting and you have you're purchasing a tabletop, that person's going to purchase the tabletop, and it's going to ask you to put in the 2 people that are attending. But if one of those people are planning on staying on campus in a dorm, that person would then need to fill out the form and just purchase that dorm room option. As long as we have one person that chooses the tabletop. Now the form itself is live, so once an opportunity or a specific table is taken, it will no longer be there on the form. So I just wanted to make sure that each of you know that depending on what, you know, there's options there. It will come with 2 registration passes. Only one person needs to indicate who those 2 people are. But if you're purchasing the pre-conference, if you're going to attend the pre-conference, well, I guess it doesn't. Let me go back. Forget I just said that. So we'll need the names and the information of the 2 people that are going to be attending. The sponsorships all come with one conference pass as well. So I want to make sure that each of you know that if you're not exhibiting, you will receive a conference pass with any of the other sponsorship opportunities as well. And so we'll just need to know who that is. As I mentioned, when you're purchasing a tabletop specifically, it is live. You can, have that option. You just have to click on the box. If it's there, it means it's available. If it's not, then someone has taken it. And that's pretty much that. Now, all of the sponsorship opportunities, it's pretty clear. You know, you just click on what you need. Again, if you don't see it listed, it means that it was taken. There is a branding opportunity. Again, you know, we want to make sure that you know that when you are purchasing this sponsorship, it's you who are using your vendor to purchase it. We're not ordering any supplies or any items. This gives you the flexibility to use the vendors that you typically use when you know, maybe you already have items in, you know, from your last conference that you're planning on using. That's fine. Use those, bring them, as long as we have 325 here. So I might have misspoke earlier. But we want to make sure that you understand that, you know, you're bringing, you're shipping, we'll give you that information. You can store that for free. You can bring them when you arrive. But we'll have a table and set up for you. We'll, you know, promote you as a sponsorship and do all of that promotion on our end, on all social media, all of our app, our you know, our correspondence that goes out to all of our providers. We have a LinkedIn and Facebook page that we do a lot of promotion. We have promotion on our Google page. We get a lot of, we've really beefed up our Google side. So we can see all the hits that we get. There's a lot of traffic going on for CHAPCA in that way. So we're just trying to help as much as we can in that way. So that's all part of that form. Again, the breakout rooms, let us know what time, what option. This is defaulted. So when you look at the pricing, this is for non-members, but members, it's $200. So keep that in mind. When you log in, make sure you're logged in to access this form. That way you get the member pricing. But that should show and reflect $200, not the $400 that you see here. And then when you purchase the dorm room and meals, there is that option. Again, this is gonna, if you're logged in as a member, it's automatically going to reflect the member pricing. So you don't have to worry about the non-member pricing. It'll default. So that's kind of what I have for you. I'm going to go ahead and let me switch over to my view here. I want to open it up to you if you have any additional questions. Now, Sheila did put out an email yesterday. Hopefully you all received it. If you didn't, I will follow up with after this presentation with all of you. There is some discounts that she's doing through a flash sale for all of these opportunities. So I'm going to, if you haven't seen that, I will make sure that you do. It's only good through, I believe, tomorrow at 8 a.m. So it's just what it is. It's a flash sale. It only went out to our associate members, not non-members. So we want to give you first and foremost opportunity to take advantage of that. But does anyone have any questions for me as far as the information that I covered today? All right. Well, again, thank you all for attending. I really appreciate your time. This has been really great to have you here. And as I mentioned, I will not be here as of next week. And so your contact moving forward will be Deepka, as you met earlier today. She is a wonderful addition, and Sheila. So as you start thinking of these opportunities, please feel free to reach out to one of them. And it's been such a pleasure meeting all of you. I've really enjoyed working with you, and I hope to hopefully see you again very soon. If you have any questions and you're thinking about these things and you want to reach me, feel free to call this week. We are available. But like I said, Sheila and Deepka will be here to help you and guide you through any of these opportunities.
Gonna miss you, Sarah. You've done a phenomenal job. Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sarah,
Great
you're
work.
definitely going to be missed.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. I'm going to miss you too. All right, guys. Well, thank you for attending today, and I'll go ahead and send everything out after this meeting. I'll get everything. I'll send the link to this presentation. So if there's something that you want to review, I'll send that flash sale out to you. And by all means, feel free to pick up the phone, give us a call. We can go over these opportunities with you. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.